All right, so picture this. You're a student in a rural South African village.
Yeah.
You're trying to learn about the world.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Right.
Maybe even dream of a career in tech.
Sure.
But your internet connection,
Yeah.
it's about as fast as a tortoise on a treadmill.
Oh, wow.
Frustrating, right?
Yeah.
That's the reality for many in South Africa.
I can imagine.
But Elon Musk thinks he has the solution.
Does he?
Starlink.
Okay.
And guess what?
What?
He just took a trip back to his homeland
Oh, really?
to chat with President Ramaphosa
Interesting.
about bringing this satellite internet service to the nation.
Well, what's fascinating here is how this move intertwines with Musk's own roots.
Oh, yeah.
Born in Pretoria, this isn't just another business deal for him.
Right.
It's a chance to give back to the place where it all began.
You're right. It's a full circle moment.
Absolutely.
From building his first computer program as a kid in South Africa
Wow.
to potentially revolutionizing internet access there.
It's quite a journey.
Cute.
But what exactly could this revolution look like?
Well, imagine that same student suddenly having access to the same high-quality online resources as kids in Johannesburg or Cape Town.
Interesting.
They could take online courses, learn coding skills, even connect with mentors around the world.
Wow.
The potential for education is enormous.
It's not just about education, though.
Right.
Starlink boasts super low latency.
Okay.
Which means virtually no lag time. That's huge for things like telemedicine.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine a doctor in Durban being able to consult in real time with a patient hundreds of miles away.
I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And let's not forget the economic possibility.
Right, of course.
Reliable internet access can be a game changer for small businesses.
Absolutely.
Allowing them to reach new markets and customers.
For sure.
So you're painting a pretty exciting picture here.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
But let's get real for a moment.
South Africa has something called Black ownership regulations.
Right.
These are policies designed to address the economic legacy of apartheid.
Interesting.
And empower Black South Africans. They require foreign companies to partner with local businesses. And adhere to specific ownership structures.
I see.
How does that fit into SpaceX's plans?
That's the crux of the issue.
Yeah.
And this is where things get interesting.
Okay.
SpaceX, known for its innovative, sometimes disruptive approach, needs to navigate these regulations. These regulations have a deep historical context.
Yeah.
Apartheid South Africa's system of racial segregation created vast economic disparities that continue to this day.
Wow.
These regulations aim to rectify those imbalances and ensure greater economic participation for Black South Africans.
So it's a delicate balancing act.
Yeah.
SpaceX wants to expand.
Right.
But South Africa has social and economic goals to uphold. What are some potential pathways forward?
Well, finding the right local partners is key. Partners who align with SpaceX's vision.
Right.
While also fulfilling the requirements of these regulations.
I see.
Think of it as a strategic partnership.
Okay.
Not just a box-ticking exercise.
So it sounds like creativity and collaboration are crucial here.
Absolutely.
But what about the practical side of things?
Sure.
How does Starlink actually work?
Well, Starlink uses a network of thousands of low-orbit satellites to beam down internet access.
Interesting.
The beauty of this system is that it bypasses the need for traditional ground-based infrastructure.
Right.
Making it ideal for reaching remote areas.
Okay, so it's like having internet beamed down from space.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It is pretty amazing.
But even with cutting-edge tech, there will be hurdles. South Africa has a mix of urban centers, sprawling suburbs, and remote rural communities. How can Starlink ensure equitable access for everyone?
Yeah.
That's where community engagement becomes absolutely critical.
Right.
It's not just about installing the technology.
Right.
It's about working with local communities, understanding their specific needs, and tailoring solutions to fit those needs.
I see.
Maybe that means setting up community Wi-Fi hotspots. Or providing subsidized access for low-income households.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's about making sure the benefits of this technology reach everyone, not just a select few.
Exactly.
But back to Musk and his meeting with President Ramaphosa.
Okay.
What was the tone like?
The meeting was surprisingly positive.
Oh, really?
Ramaphosa was quite vocal in encouraging Musk to invest in his home country.
Interesting.
Emphasizing the potential for growth and collaboration.
So it sounds like there's genuine goodwill on both sides.
It seemed that way, yeah.
But good intentions only get you so far.
Right.
Were there any concrete signs of how they'll tackle the black ownership regulations?
Well, there was talk about potential joint ventures.
Okay.
And partnerships with South African businesses.
Interesting.
Ramaphosa even hinted at the possibility of creating special economic zones that could offer SpaceX more flexibility.
Right.
While still upholding the spirit of those regulations.
So it's not just about SpaceX coming in and doing things their way.
I don't think so, no.
It's about finding a solution that works for everyone involved.
Yeah, it seems like it.
This is starting to sound like a win-win scenario, wouldn't you say?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
But let's not forget
that
this is a complex situation with no easy answers.
Right.
There will be compromises, negotiations,
and
unforeseen obstacles along the way.
You're right. It's going to be a fascinating journey to watch unfold.
I agree.
But for now, let's zoom out a bit.
Okay.
This isn't just about South Africa.
Right.
Starlink's ambitions are global. What are the broader implications of this technology?
Oh, Starlink represents a paradigm shift in internet access.
Interesting.
It has the potential to connect the unconnected.
Wow.
Bridging the digital divide in ways we've never seen before.
That's huge.
It is.
And if SpaceX can successfully navigate the complexities of bringing Starlink to South Africa, it could serve as a blueprint for other developing nations facing similar challenges.
Makes sense.
So this could be bigger than just bringing faster internet to South Africa.
I think so.
It could be about redefining how we connect the world.
Yeah. It really could.
It really feels like we're on the cusp of something revolutionary here.
It does.
We've talked about the potential for education, healthcare, and economic growth.
Right.
But I'm curious, what about the social impact?
Okay.
Could Starlink change how South Africans connect with each other and the rest of the world?
That's a great question. Think about it.
Yeah.
Right now, many people in rural areas rely on expensive and unreliable cellular data.
Right.
Starlink could change that, making it easier and more affordable for people to stay in touch with family and friends, regardless of distance.
So it's not just about accessing information.
No.
It's about strengthening communities and relationships.
Exactly, and it goes beyond personal connections.
Oh, okay.
Imagine a young entrepreneur in a remote village being able to use social media to market their products to a global audience.
That would be amazing.
Or a group of artists collaborating on a project online.
Right.
Sharing their culture and creativity with the world.
It's about opening doors that were previously closed, giving people a voice and a platform.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the potential for cultural exchange.
Okay.
South Africa has a rich and diverse cultural heritage. Starlink could make it easier for people to share their stories, music, art, and traditions with a global audience.
It's almost like breaking down the walls of a digital silo.
Yeah.
Suddenly, people who were once isolated can become part of a global conversation.
Right.
But let's be realistic. Even with the best intentions, there are bound to be challenges.
Sure.
Digital literacy, affordability, infrastructure in very remote areas. These are all potential hurdles, right?
You're absolutely right. Technology alone is not a silver bullet.
Okay.
It's crucial to address these challenges alongside the rollout of Starlink.
So what do you mean by that?
Well, for example, investing in digital literacy programs to ensure people know how to use the internet effectively and safely.
Right.
And exploring ways to make the service affordable for low-income communities.
It sounds like a multi-pronged approach is needed.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
It can't just be about setting up the satellites and expecting everything to fall into place.
No, not at all. And this is where the South African government's role becomes crucial.
Okay.
They need to create policies that support digital inclusion, foster a competitive market, and ensure that the benefits of Starlink reach all segments of society.
So it's a partnership between the government, SpaceX, and local communities.
I think so.
A shared responsibility to make sure this technology truly empowers people.
I agree.
But speaking of responsibility, there's another angle we haven't touched on yet.
Okay.
The environmental impact.
Ah, right.
Launching thousands of satellites into orbit can't be great for the planet, can it?
That's a valid concern, and it's something SpaceX is aware of.
Okay.
They're working on ways to minimize the environmental footprint of their satellites.
How so?
Well, such as using sustainable materials and designing them to deorbit safely at the end of their lifespan.
That's reassuring to hear because, let's face it, we're talking about massive undertaking here.
For sure.
Thousands of satellites beaming down internet from space.
It's mind-boggling.
It sounds almost like something out of science fiction.
I know.
What are the long-term implications of this?
Well, could Starlink fundamentally change the way we think about internet access? It certainly has the potential to do so.
In what way?
Traditionally, internet access has been tied to physical infrastructure, cable towers and all of that.
Right.
Starlink bypasses all of that.
So there's no need for any of that?
Not with this system.
Wow.
Creating a truly global network that's not limited by geography.
So it's like leapfrogging over traditional limitations.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder what other possibilities might open up as this technology evolves.
It really does. And this is where things get really exciting. Imagine a future where high-speed internet is available everywhere.
Wow.
Not just in developed nations.
That would be incredible.
It would.
This could have profound implications for everything from education and healthcare to economic development and scientific research.
Absolutely.
It's like we're entering a new era of connectivity.
Yeah.
One where access to information and opportunities is no longer determined by where you live.
I agree.
But let's bring it back to South Africa for a moment.
Okay.
What are some of the key things you'll be watching for as this story unfolds?
That's a good question. I'll be looking for signs of genuine collaboration. Between SpaceX, the government, and local communities, are they working together to address the challenges of affordability, digital literacy, and equitable access?
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about the human element. The partnerships, the policies, the commitment to making sure this technology benefits everyone.
Exactly. And I'll also be watching to see how South African businesses and entrepreneurs adapt and innovate in response to this new wave of connectivity.
So you'll be watching to see how they respond?
Pretty much, yeah.
Will they seize the opportunities that Starlink presents?
I hope so.
Will they create new products and services that cater to a more connected world?
It will be interesting to see.
So it's about empowerment, not just access.
Right.
Giving people the tools and the skills they need to thrive in a digital economy.
Precisely. And ultimately, I'll be looking for signs that Starlink is truly making a difference. In the lives of ordinary South Africans.
So how will you know?
Are students in rural areas benefiting from better educational resources? Are entrepreneurs in townships able to grow their businesses?
Interesting.
Are healthcare professionals able to reach patients in remote communities?
It's about measuring success not just in terms of megabits per second, but in terms of human impact.
I think so.
The tangible ways this technology is improving people's lives.
Exactly. That's the real test of whether this project is a success or not.
It's amazing to think about all the possibilities we've discussed.
I know, right?
Education, healthcare, economic empowerment.
Yeah.
Even cultural exchange.
That's pretty remarkable.
But I keep coming back to this idea of South Africa potentially becoming a model for other nations.
Yeah.
How realistic is that?
I think it's definitely a possibility. There are many countries around the world facing similar challenges with internet access, particularly in rural and remote areas. If South Africa can successfully implement Starlink and address the accompanying issues of affordability and digital literacy, it could provide valuable lessons for other nations looking to bridge the digital divide.
So what are some of the key ingredients for success?
Well, first and foremost, there needs to be a strong commitment from the government. They need to create a supportive regulatory environment, invest in infrastructure, and prioritize digital inclusion in their national development plans.
It sounds like it needs to be a top-down approach.
Yeah, in a way.
With the government setting the stage for success.
Exactly, but it can't just be a government-led initiative. There needs to be buy-in from the private sector as well.
So how would that work?
Well, companies like SpaceX need to be willing to partner with local businesses, invest in the community, and tailor their solutions to fit the specific needs of the country.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where the government's vision aligns with the private sector's capabilities.
Right. And of course, let's not forget about the people.
Yeah, they need to be at the center of all of this.
Absolutely. Engaging with local communities, understanding their needs and ensuring that they have the skills and resources to benefit from this technology is essential.
So it's not just about beaming down internet from space.
No.
It's about building a whole ecosystem around that technology.
Exactly.
An ecosystem that supports education, innovation, and sustainable development.
For sure. It's a complex equation with a lot of moving parts.
It is, and there will be challenges along the way.
No doubt about it.
But the potential rewards are enormous.
They are.
I think that's what's so exciting about this story.
Yeah.
It's not just about technology. It's about human potential. It's about using innovation to create a more equitable and connected world.
Beautifully put. And I think that's what we'll be watching for as this story unfolds.
What do you mean?
Will South Africa seize this opportunity to become a global leader in digital inclusion?
Interesting.
Will other nations follow their lead? Will we finally be able to break down the barriers that have prevented so many people from accessing the opportunities of the digital age?
Those are some big questions, and the answers will have a profound impact on the future of our world.
I agree. But for now, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, exactly.
You've explored the potential benefits of Starlink, the challenges of implementation, the importance of collaboration, and the broader implications for global connectivity.
It's been a fascinating journey, and I hope our listeners have come away with a better understanding of this complex and rapidly evolving issue.
I'm sure they have. And if you're still with us, dear listener, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
What are your hopes and concerns about the future of Internet access?
That's a big question.
How do you think technology can be used to create a more just and equitable world?
Let's keep the conversation going, because ultimately the future of connectivity is up to all of us. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Starlink's potential impact on South Africa and beyond.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of exploration and discovery.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic. Until then, stay curious.